Okay guys, this is part 10. Hope everyone's doing good out there. We're working on the feathers a little bit. I'll show you some of the detailing that is being done. Okay, so there's scratching, there's aggressive eraser, which is one of the erasers I use, the number 11 X-acto blade, and of course I have the small Tombow soft eraser for, again, transparent paint, because you have to have the soft paint that can be erased as opposed to the opaque paint. You cut out a few shapes, paper, like I said, I like the paper, and you can go in and start finding areas that are just little shapes that I'm looking at in the picture that are just a little more color on here, right in here. Okay, tones, and let's get some scratching. Let's see. See, the white is the white of the board, so we would be coming in here and very carefully just use the side of the blade. This one I'm going to press even lighter. Well, paint's soft, so it's I'm going to tint over them, but that allows you to have something to work with, you know, as far as back and forth and all around. Let's get this going in here. A little bit of shading right off of that line right here. Just a little bit subtle little shadings that just bring you down about to where you need to go. Tinting over some of those lines I just scratched out so they're not so stark. I've started to erase on that side of the line to knock it back, to show values within the feather, and then slowly but surely I will be finding these patterns. Let me show you with the cutout. Okay, this is the same size, and what I can do to help me find my how I'm doing and stuff, you could do a little bit of that, flipping back and forth, and it allows you to see like that white there. And because even though the drawing's down, it's you can lose like what's white, what's dark. You know, you can put little marks and letters on things, you know, like L for light and things like that, but you still start losing your way. So I'll just be working in a small area. I started to go after it down here, and it's the same thing. They're kind of like dagger strokes, but you also have to consider the actual softness of these blurry feathers, and then the harder ones that are more, you know, very edgy looking. Okay, this process here is going to be carried on in the different areas with the different values, you know, to make things come together. So let me zoom back out a little bit. There we go. All right. So let's look for taking this paper shield. I can find little edges of, let's see, I've got my white area here. There's going to be there's the line coming off of it. Boy, it's like a puzzle. And then there's going to be another, actually, I need the post notes. So, little line right here. A little round, so I'm going to cut the post note. A little curvy. So now I have a rounder in the sticky area, rounder shape, and put it right there. Now I need the opposite, so I have to take and go the other way. The same, you know, subtle curve. As long as you make them long enough, it should work. You should find your area. And then I'll mark off with a pencil the beginning and the end of that little dark area inside the feather. And then you don't want to be too fat in here. You want to close the gap. Keep it very, very thin. Sometimes when you're doing hair, of course when you're doing hair, you know, it can be even way thinner than that. All right, so a little color in here. Couple passes. See where we are. The more I put these in, the more I'll know where I'm going. They're already drawn in, but they don't make a lot of sense in the drawing part because it's, again, not telling me darks and lights and all that. So that's the process that I'm going to be doing to create all the detailing and all the fun little guys that take forever. Okay, so there's two little, I'm steadying my blade. This is how I do it. It's like drawing. There's a little guy here, so now I'm going to tip the blade up a little bit more to get the point, and I'll zoom in on that right there. Okay, little point right there, and then this one over here is a little fatter. Just lower the blade a little flat side of it. Pick at it a little bit. There we go. And I'm going to go back in and erase. I'll even put some. This goes this way for a minute. I'll put some colors in. I'll be tinting the white areas to make it all come together. All right, so what else is going on here? These are more erased. Okay, so when that paint dries better, I will take the eraser and I will go in there and erase out a line, but it's not, it's still wet, it's still soft, so it will be just all chopped up. But once you get this really dry and you start working it, it's really fun. You can actually sit down in another chair with some good lighting and just do all your erasing, relaxing with your, your feet up and your head supported and just sitting in a chair watching a baseball game or something. You can start to do a lot of little detailing away from the airbrush desk that is fun to do. Okay, so let's close the door on this. This is kind of, the blade wants to go one way. This way it will skip. I can feel it. This way it will smoothly go. And each blade is different. It's just from the factory, the way that, microscopically, one way, if you think it's going to skip and give you crazy jaggedness, just go the other way. You can also turn the painting. You can do all kinds of things to get things to happen, but you've got to, not give up on the blade, because it does have one way sometimes, most of the time, that it wants to travel. Okay, so this one goes down along there a little bit more, just like that. So it's slowly but surely, it's working it. Once I get one little area that starts to look like the beak area, where you start feeling like, hey, I'm really happy with this. I got to add more colors and bring it up more. But then you'll start, being pulled into the picture more and more, and you'll start working your way out, which before, as you've seen in the earlier videos, I ran into different problems. So I could turn this way, and I can also start pulling lines into this direction, which is more comfortable for my hand. Okay, so, and then painting in between the lines right here. I'll zoom in on that. Whoops, we don't have any zoom in. We'll bring it right up to you. Okay, now the way we do that is you take your shield and you go off of the one, you cover the one, and you get in between it, and you just paint off the paper, and it goes in between the scratch. We'll do one, oh, you need one that's kind of closer together. Here's one here. Actually, that is a little too fat, so I'm going to make it kind of... All right. That didn't work, but that's all right. I'll just put another one right here. Okay, so painting in between is what's going to make them, you know, have all their little areas to look like this kind of stuff. You have to get in between them. So as you scratch, you take the paper and you can go back over it and put the dark up in between those. Now this kind of stuff right here, it's going to take time, and I'm going to have to work it, and you know, it's even a bluish gray there and stuff, and so I'll probably be mixing that definitely, because this is definitely bluer. This is more white. I can use the white of the board here with some tints of the lighter orangey color, beigey orange, and so on and so forth, you know. So slowly but surely, that is the process that's going to go on, and it's just repeating itself over and over to get all the details in. All right, so it's paint on, you know, paint on, and then removing paint, scratching the paint away, and doing things that definitely bring this to another level, but long process. Little freehand stroke here, right in this area. Little dagger stroke. It's okay, it's big enough to where I can do that without using shields and all, but it's not for the tiny things. You know, sure, I could go in with the micron and work little tiny areas, but you have to really be able to nail it. You have to get those shapes down. So over here I see a few areas I shaded with the pencil. I'm not going to erase it, I'm just going to kind of fill in like shading, you know, just give myself some markings that represent. If the pencil line is too dark, then yeah, you can knock it back as you go. Like I'm still seeing it there. So before I go any further, I'll knock it away, but at least I know where I am in the picture, you know, of what's above this, and this thing looks like it's shaded right here. So let's do that. Freehand. Put a little color in, and on you go, repeating. These are the freehand strokes. These are the softer ones. So I would come in and really and truly, that tells me where it was. Now I'm making it look white, but that was actually shaded with my pencil. I cleaned my aggressive eraser on the copy paper. But I know that white area is really the darker area, because I'm at that point now. Tip dry. I'm at the point where I know by erasing it that it was a shaded area. So I'm just going to put it in without showing the pencil lines through. Here I kind of just demo in real quick. I'm going to erase that back out, but that's the beauty of the transparent paint, that you can knock away your lines once you're in the area. Once you get into an area where you see, you know, you're going to be working this area. Let's see, that looks like it's a little dark, so I'm just going to freehand that in. It's got two lines that are going to be taped off, like with the post notes. One above, I'm not doing it freehand, and one below. It's just kind of like whatever it is, it's another feather. And this one is very dark in this one. I'm not going to use this piece of paper because you want both sides done. You know, you can carefully try to do a line, but when they're both sides, then you have to go back on this side, and it works, but it's a little harder for me because of it's just another way to do it, but you got to really aim good, and you'll get it. You'll get your lines. Okay, so that's good. I'm not going to push this video any longer. That's the process of making individual feathers. All right, so I'll back this out a little bit. And of course, all this, all of this darkness in here, which is kind of orangey. I wanted it in an orangey start, you know, burnt sienna. With some, now I'll go into sepia and stuff, but I'm building it slowly because inside of it, it's not all, yeah, here it's super dark, but then it starts breaking up and there's actually some orange coming off of it, you know, not orange, but, you know, the browns that are orangey brown, I should say. And yeah, just look for all that, you know, you see that? You see that blue there? The whiter, beigey white there. Look at that. So, and then I'll play with opaques on top of it later to get the real flat look. But that's later. What I was doing wrong earlier was I was working with the opaques, trying to do a little paintbrushing, the acrylics. You know, I'm experimenting, and I don't regret the buying the acrylics for testing colors, mixing. 'Cause that's another thing I would paint with a brush too. But when I started painting in the lines here, there was no way of hiding them. They're so fine. I have to stick with the stencils and the super fine spraying, or I'll get that look. If you look back on the earlier videos, I'll get that look that looks really ugly. It looks sloppy and thick, and the lines. This line's a stencil, and it's meant to be exactly where it is. The last time I think I brushed it in. Nothing wrong with the brush. I'm learning as I go too. Some things I can, you know, do with the brush, but some things get too away from the airbrush look, and it starts looking like, you know, kind of more abstract-y, kind of looser type of acrylic realistic painting, but brush marks. I don't want that, you know. The beauty of opaques too is that's a scratch. Now that should really be the same color as this, but I should airbrush it in with a piece of paper, blowing off the edge, making a little tiny, you know, little tiny shape like that. It's all airbrush. When to use the airbrush and when to use the other tools. So hope this helps. This is the process. I'll be working each feather much more tighter, much more realistic than the earlier videos, because I got away from the best way that works for me. Okay, so I hope all of you people are having fun with the airbrush. It's a tool you can make money with. It's a tool you can just have fun. It's a hobby, and it's something that you really will get better and better as you do it. And you know, just enjoy it. I really enjoy the transparent way, but I surely wouldn't do the background transparent. Maybe some colors on top, but there's a time for opaques and there's a time for transparents, and they're in the same painting. Personally, I almost feel like taking the eye out and doing transparents, but I'll see about correcting, making it a little more vibrant in the end. That was the earlier way I was going about it. So, yeah, I'll just do a little bit more right here. And if the video cuts out, I'll say take care and thanks for checking out the videos. But right now, I notice YouTube's cutting off videos. Seems like they're just all of them. I'm watching and it could be any kind of video, and all of a sudden it just ends. It's happening a lot. It's like a couple more seconds of the person saying, hey, you know, have a nice day or whatever. So yeah, these lines right here, they're going to be carefully. I'm not just going to go in and freehand it like I was doing earlier. I'm going to go in and do it properly. You know, take my time, put more time into it, and the end result will be better. And I was starting again. This isn't a commission piece, and right now I'm a little bit slow. I'm getting slow with my art. It's just, you know, how business is. And so not even having a job, kind of good that I'm not doing this one for a commission, because this has been a really challenging one. I've been having fun with this one. But okay, guys, happy painting to all you people out there. Enjoy these videos, hopefully, and share them too if you like what I'm doing. the more people that could see these videos, which are, you know, free to see, can jumpstart them or give them tips or whatever. Even if they can get something from it, gleaning something from each artist, that would be great. Have a good night, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care.